From a modern scientific standpoint, the claustrum is known to be highly connected within the brain, but its exact function remains somewhat mysterious. Some say the idea of it secreting an oil with spiritual properties lacks scientific backing, and they would be correct. As far as I'm aware, this hasn't been studied, but this is a trick of perspective played by the scientific community in my opinion. It lacks scientific backing because they haven't studied it and probably won't because there isn't good reason to confirm what is known anecdotally by esoteric practitioners. The modern scientific view of Christ oil is happy, however, to confirm the natural production of cerebrospinal fluid, aka CSF, which they find has essential roles in brain function. Skeptics and some scientists argue that esoteric interpretations are misreadings or overinterpretations of biological processes. They point out that while CSF does circulate in the body, attributing spiritual or mystical properties to it is not supported by conventional neuroscience or biology. That the mainstream view deliberately ignores the potential for DMT, a known psychoactive agent, to be involved is to be expected from a paradigm which doesn't recognize immaterial or hidden realities. This lack of recognition is to be expected at this time, and I'll explain why now. For the most part, most people at this particular time on Earth are unable to understand the esoteric nature of the universe. According to Sri Yukteswar, this inability to recognize hidden realities is actually quite quantifiable and related to the Dharma available at any particular time on Earth. He says in his book, The Holy Science, published in the 1890s, that the light which comes to Earth, via a little-known galactic sun, carries with it a certain quality of dharma or an understanding of the true nature of reality, which when present in high enough quantities allows us to more easily understand and sense not only material but also immaterial realities. A galactic sun, he says, does not refer to the sun in our solar system, but a much larger galactic center, which our galaxy revolves around. I note that modern science has confirmed some of what Sri Yukteswar has said. Anton Petrov, on his own YouTube channel, outlines how modern science has discovered that our Milky Way galaxy revolves around much larger galactic centers that he calls megastructures, and that these systems have their own suns. Sri Yukteswar says that the light from these galactic centers does reach Earth but differs over time depending on where our galaxy is within its revolution of the larger galactic sunday. In my opinion, this somewhat confirms some of the information Sri Yukteswar wrote, i.e. the concept of a galactic sun. I should note that in yogic science they have a concept of yugas or time periods with which categorizes the general level of dharma from this galactic sunday. While debate is ongoing about exactly which yuga we are in now, most agree we are not at the highest ebb of dharma but probably in a Kali Yuga phase or close to it depending on who you talk to. To come back to the modern scientific view, if you study philosophy of science, literature and history, you can see that slowly over time mainstream thought removed the concepts of hidden realities existing parallel to the material world. Slowly it forced a sole focus on material and mechanical considerations. Hence critiques of esoteric functions of the claustrum would naturally be too far of a stretch in our time, i.e. Kali Yuga, which has a low amount of dharma. Some mainstream scientists like Sir Francis Crick thought that the claustrum area of the brain was the seat of consciousness. Conveniently, mainstream science sometimes marginalizes certain scientific findings, and not others. Such is our time of Kali Yuga, but these views do not stop us from practicing Christ oil cycles, and confirming anecdotally for ourselves that DMT is indeed produced in the human brain. I can attest to this as I have used both exogenous DMT and Christ oil cycles, and confirm they lead to very similar personal insights and transformations.